My friends and I survived 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. This is what happened. Day 1. We decided to locate a village so we could set up an iron farm and a villager trading hall. This would later on gain us access to enchanted diamond armor and tools before we go exploring in caves. I looted the blacksmith and broke all the beds and workstations I could. This would be needed to make the iron farm designed by ENX04. After getting a little bit of wood, I crafted an iron axe and destroyed an iron golem. Then I began working on an iron farm. In order for the golems to spawn where I want them to, I'd clear a nice flat area. Okay, so now it's time to begin working on the iron farm. Now that the villagers were all in place, I just need to find a zombie. There were no nearby zombies, so I had to go exploring a little to find one and lead it back to the villager pit. But once I got back, I was welcomed by a horde of zombies. And then I brought the last zombie into the hole. After finishing up where the iron golems spawn, I decided to trap 2 villagers in a hole. They will be very useful later on. After AFKing for a little while, I realized that the farm wasn't working. I checked around the village and found a cave which an iron golem spawned in. So after spawn proofing that, the farm was working fine. Before we knew it, it was day 3. And that's when we realized that we could use lava from the blacksmith next to us to double the production rates. I then decided that we should make a crop farm, so that's exactly what I did. Since I was going to put villagers in here, I had to fence it off. Yeah, I ran out of wood, so I had to get some more. I managed to get 3 stacks, which was more than enough. Day 4 is the day I brought the villagers into slavery. I mean their new homes where they can reproduce. There's 1. And there's 2. Since I needed beds for them to have babies, I went and sheared some sheep. Later on though, I decided to bring them back to where the villagers were so the sheep could reproduce as well. I quite literally spent the next 20 days trading with villagers for enchanted diamond armor and tools. And since it was very boring for me to do, I'm not going to make you guys sit through and watch this. So I'll just cut to the parts where I actually get the good stuff. Also, I had to place white carpets all around the villager pens so iron golems don't spawn and ruin the iron farm. I decided to build a sugarcane farm as it would be useful to trade with librarians and for fireworks later on. So here's a time lapse of me building it. After building this farm, I came to realize that it was extremely slow, so later on I'll be expanding it. Day 31, I decided to explore the nether and found that there was a fortress right next to us. There wasn't really much good loot in the fortress, but there were some blazes for me to kill. After collecting a bit of netherwort, I went back to the overworld to trade with villagers for enchanted books. Since I wanted to make a portal-based gold farm, I would need stacks and stacks of magma blocks, meaning I needed Unbreaking 3 on my pickaxe. So I spent day 31 to day 35 just trading with villagers trying to get Unbreaking 3. However, I managed to get some good enchanted books on the way, such as Mending, Prot 4, Sharpness, etc. Now it was time to collect everything I need for the gold farm. Oh, and I didn't mention this, but the gold and rotten flesh from the gold farm would be used to trade with clerics for emeralds. Building this farm took me hours upon hours, and the epic time-lapse recording didn't save, so that's nice. Anyways, here's the finished product of the farm. I got the design from Hermitcraft, and it works by the zombie pigmen seeing turtle eggs through the portals, and then thinking that they can reach it, which they walk through the portals into a killing chamber in the overworld. Here's a quick time-lapse of the farm in action. And if you really want to see how insane this farm is, this is what it looks like from the overworld. After completing the gold farm, I decided it was time to expand the sugarcane farm. Now this farm will produce 3 times the amount it was before. Days 68 to 72 we spent locating the stronghold, slaying the dragon, and grabbing ourselves an elytra. Here's how that went. Just as I thought I wouldn't have to go back to the end again, I had to go on a rescue mission. My friend enderpearled onto the side of an island and started falling into the void, so I had to water bucket down and create a large platform for him to spawn on when he joins the game. So, I placed a water bucket to go 20 blocks down and create a platform. Now, it was time for him to join the game. He just made it onto the platform, meaning if he left the game a split second later, he would have fallen into the void and died. Well, now that that's all out the way, it's finally time to build my base. Since I would need a lot of spruce for this build, I headed over to the spruce biome and deforested the forest.
How dare you!
Oh, and I also needed a lot of deep slate stone and cobblestone. After doing a little bit of terraforming, it was time to begin building my base, so here's a time lapse. So that's most of the exterior finished. Now it's time for me to begin the interior. Now that all the building's done, it's time to show my finished base with shaders on. You guys enjoyed this 100 days and stay tuned into the channel because we have lots more planned.